Hello there and welcome to another Starcraft 2 beta gameplay commentary. I am your host Witty and I have got a brilliant game for you today. It comes from the 1v1 ladder and the Platinum ladder, and it's myself as Protoss versus Frez as Zerg. This is certainly an interesting game and you will be fascinated by this one, I can guarantee it. It's actually one of the first games I'm going to upload, which I can genuinely say is actually very tough and very good. You know, it's skill on both sides. It's a very, very difficult game, this one. It goes on for a long time, actually. I think it's about 19 minutes, so yeah, stick around to enjoy it, please. As we can see, I am going for a pylon here, as you would do. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to build any more probes, so it makes sense, doesn't it? There we go. As soon as the pylon's down, I put on a chrono boost, I believe. Oh no, actually I don't in this, sorry. I saved that chrono boost for the gateway. That's why. Normally I would use the chrono boost to get a good economy. But in here, I'm intending to rush because I'm assuming that my enemy is going to be going for an early hatchery. As most Zerglings do. So, yeah, I want to try and put as much pressure on him as possible, so I can't afford to waste that chrono boost. Before that gets to 100, that gateway will definitely be up, so I can definitely use the chrono boost on that gateway, and I'll use as many chrono boosts as I bloody can just to make sure I can get the zealots going. I built a pylon here. The reason for that is I was intending to actually warp in units, and I didn't want it too close that you could destroy it with Zerglings, but I wanted it close enough that it's closer than my base. As you can see, as soon as the gateway is built, zealot comes out and the chrono boost is on it, increasing the speed time by 50%. So that's more like about 17 seconds or something like that for a zealot instead of 33 seconds. As you can see, he has gone for that early hatchery. It's pretty predictable, really. Most people are quite predictable in 1v1 as to what it is they're going to do. There are only so many opening strats. It's once the game goes into mid-game that it gets interesting, because that's when you can really open up into different areas. But for the start, most Zergs do tend to get themselves a hatchery. So I'm just trying to do a little bit of damage here. I don't even need to scout his main base because I know, as you can see, I haven't already. Oops, that's on camera. But I haven't, that's all black to me. Because I know that he hasn't got much going on in his base, because he's put a lot into this hatchery. I want to try and bring it down. He's trying to harass me with that drone. Don't want to get too distracted by that though. That's what he wants. He wants me to get distracted. I want to get as many hits in with my zealot here before he actually manages to start producing Zerglings, which he is at the moment. As you can see, they are almost built. They are on their way. So I'm going to get 2 zealots here, get as much damage going as possible. He tries to get a spine crawler way too early. He should have done that when I was under more pressure. So I managed to take that out rather early. Okay, we've got 4. Ooh, this is tough. He's brought in some drones to help him. As you can see, I'm trying to kite him a bit. Kite him is more of a World of Warcraft term. It basically means sort of like kite him around, you know, make him follow me without actually sort of really hitting me or getting hits. Now, here we see he's got far too many Zerglings. I'm trying to... you know, I don't want to lose anything at this stage. It's too crucial not to lose anything, but I need to keep the pressure on. So I've got a zealot there. It's so weak right at the front. What am I thinking with that? Quickly pull him back when I realise that. And down he goes. That was a bit of a mistake. But don't worry, my micro is pretty good in this. It's just a bit panicky at the start there. I've got a lot of zealots here with basically no health. I've done a lot of damage here. I am also fighting these drones on top of his Zerglings, so I can't really win that fight. Which is how he's managing to keep this going. But the more drones he's having to use, the less he's having on these minerals. He's got a spine crawler up, which is really bad news for me. Because that's like a tower, basically. Constantly doing damage. I'm getting really messed over with my rush here. At this point I'm thinking, right, well I've pretty much lost, because he's managed to get the hatchery. It's very frustrating. Very, very frustrating that he can get and expand and keep it. But there you go, it's part of the game. So I've just got to learn to adapt to that. So I've got my couple of zealots waiting outside. I've got 2 gateways. I'm going for a 3rd. I want to get as many zealots, as much pressure on as possible. I want to build them as fast as my minerals will allow it. Because he's also doing the same. He's got invested a lot into Zerglings to try and maintain that expand. So yeah, this is pretty nasty so far. As we can see, he's got more drones than I've got probes. So this is why it's also going quite bad for me. I needed more on my minerals. He's actually got more at the moment, but it's still fairly even considering he has got an expand because he's had to invest a lot into an army. As you can see, he's defending so hard at his little expand there that I'm thinking I'm going to try and work my way up into his main base, because quite clearly fighting at that expand is going to give me a disadvantage. He's got 2 spine crawlers there. In his main base he's got nothing. Here I do decide to stick it out in the expand because I did manage to get a bit lucky against those Zerglings. I've got a lot of weak zealots though, so I kind of have to keep moving. Here we go, back to the ramp. He's brought the drones into play. They're doing quite substantial damage really. They don't do much damage by themselves, but you're bringing enough drones along with the Zerglings, I can't take that all on. He's also got the Queen in the background doing a fair bit of damage. She doesn't do that much damage, but she's noticeable, that's for sure. You can see all of my zealots got so little HP. I can't really micro them any better than that, to be honest. You know, when they've got no HP left, that's about as good as it gets. So, just dancing around his base a little bit whilst I'm letting my shields build up. That's because obviously if I don't have that shield and that zealot, he's going to take one hit and die. So I need to let those shields regenerate. Unfortunately he's got more Zerglings. Oh dear. This is chaotic. It's absolute chaos. What's going on? Oh, I get surrounded there. No. It's gone bad for me again. Once again he's managed to hold his own. Can't quite overpower him with the zealots just yet. Although I've got 3 more coming on the way. I'm trying to use chrono boost on these gateways as much as possible. I've got 3 gateways spamming now, so that's quite considerably more than the 1 or 2 that I had previously before. So I should be able to start matching him in terms of units. Oh dear, here we go. As you can see, whenever my zealots are getting rather weak, I'm trying to move them towards the back. Against the wall really, so the Zerglings don't like that. They don't like to be closed in. They like to have open space, surround you, and then have you. If they're in a closed environment, Zerglings are not very useful. That's why I was trying to provoke him into coming towards the wall, at least with the weaker units, that way he doesn't have a choice. So at this point I'm thinking, right, he's had that expansion. And it looks like he's going to get to keep it, to be quite frank. But I've got enough zealots to stop him from venturing outside of his base, so I'm going to go for the expansion myself. But I'm getting an expansion at a high yield mineral. Here I go again, just to keep the pressure on. I don't want him thinking about coming out of his base. I decided to try and sneak up into his main base again. I managed to get a bit fortunate there. I only lost 1 zealot trying to get up there. Now I get to maintain the ramp. He's using a lot of drones again here because he's got nothing else. He has to use his drones. He's still got a lot more drones than I got probes. One thing I should have done in hindsight is try to keep the probes building in my main base. Although you won't really want that many more than 14 probes building away or getting on your minerals. 16 probes is quite good, to be honest. You won't need much more than that. Here I go for the surround of his queen. He took it just a bit too far. I've got a lot of weak zealots there, as you can see. It's not exactly the hardest thing in the world to micro zealots, but it is against Zerglings because there's just so much damage is coming out of nowhere. Got to be so careful against them. They do like the most... Oh, I don't know actually, I haven't worked it out. What does the most damage per second really? I imagine zealots do, but then again zealots cost like... What is it? You know, twice as much. For each zealot you can get 4 Zerglings. Think of it that way. 4 Zerglings per zealot.